Hey y'all, welcome back to Sip Happens. I am I am your dress rehearsal host, Sean Banerjee. And with me, as per usual, is the lovely
Rosie. It's so
Rosie.
weird when
Yes.
you just leave it.
Every week.
Cannertagging wants to hang out with us.
I'm glad. The best episodes we have are the ones where our tag-in are here. I'm loving your alternate setup here. We got some succulents. Is that what's happening behind you?
No succulents. I kill those. They're just regular house plants.
Those are just plants. I don't know anything about plants.
And I have an African violet, and I couldn't tell you what any of the other ones are called. But my grandmother gave them to me before she moved.
Okay, sure. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I can see our guest trying to mess with us, but I cannot hear him. I can see him. I'm assuming he's muted on his end.
Probably.
Yeah, he claims that he's not.
That's sad. Well, that will be disappointing when we pull him on and we can't hear him.
You can't hear him either, right, Rosie?
No.
Yeah, so maybe double check yourself, man. Or we'll just start over here in a second.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, we have a few. He has a few moments to figure it out, maybe.
Yes. Should we tell the people at home who he is?
Oh, I think so. Who is he?
So, people at home, we have an amazing treat for you today. You know him, you love him, you know him from 12 Monkeys. Yes, now we can hear you. Excellent. There we go. But yeah, you know him from 12 Monkeys, from Kim Possible, from the Hoffman Estates High School production of Fiddler on the Roof. Dungeon master, actor, writer, founder of the Nerd Circus. Todd Stashwick is here with us. How crazy is that? You're not on screen. You're just with us still. Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, that's how we do it. It's our little twist. You only talk to us and we react to you. You showered for this? Come on, man.
I showered. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't.
Yeah, no, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of showers, everyone. All right. Oh, hey, Artigan. Artagan.
Already works.
Are we drinking a tea today? What are we doing?
We have a new supplier.
Brand?
Supplier? Sure, that word works as well. This is a tea and absinthe tea, which I've had for a while, and I've been waiting for Sean to get them. Yeah, this one
is. Those of you who follow me on TikTok saw me get these months and months ago.
This is true. It was your best TikTok, and only at the time, but it was very funny. It's called Queen of Hearts, and I will read about it, and you'll read the ingredients. That's how this works. So, off with his head, the queen hath said, and let the berry juice run. The strawberries cowered among the flowers in fear of the scones and buns. What's in it?
What is in it, indeed? So, we have hibiscus petals, raisins, elderberries, younger berries, no, just elderberries, natural flavor, raspberries, strawberries, strawberry slices? No, thank you. You're calling me a nerd? You literally started a whole circus for nerds. Blueberries. Blueberries is the last ingredient. We're gonna steep this for 5 to 8 minutes at 210 degrees Fahrenheit. You already have your water ready.
I do.
My water is getting ready. Let me get my handy dandy scoop here.
Our guest made water. That's gross and lovely. Because we all know what he did.
Better than doing it on screen?
I guess that's true.
Hey, should we bring Todd out?
Yeah, let's do that.
Should we? Can we talk to our lawyers about the liability concerns that I currently have?
Yeah, let's get our lawyers. I know.
Can we look at this giant chunk of something?
It's so good. Okay, I'm going to go get our guest. Hang on.
Okay, bye. I'm here alone. I am singing a song that certainly isn't trademarked about being alone. Hey, Todd!
Todd! It's Todd, y'all.
Hey, Todd.
Good morning, everyone.
Who are you? What do you do? What are you drinking? That's an amazing looking mug.
There's like you just asked like 10 questions. So which one do you want me to tackle?
Man,
first?
I thought
Who
you
are
were
you? What are you?
Letterman?
And what are you drinking? You've done so. You just asked like which one first?
This is the whole interview. We just let you talk the rest of the time answering those questions, and we sit here.
Yeah, we're gonna sit here quietly and look at you.
Why
don't we start with what are you drinking? I love the mug.
Oh, I do.
Does the mug have a story?
It is by Path NYC, I believe, is the name of the mug company. My wife got me a set. There's another one that comes with it that's like this green, and it looks like a gnarled tree stump. And we say they're where the wild mugs are. They have a Maurice Sendak quality to them. And what am I drinking? I am drinking, just because I'm just hella defiant. You guys are doing a tea show, so I'm drinking coffee. I'm drinking what I drink every morning, which is the Santa Fe Pignon coffee, which almost has like a chocolate chocolate overnote, but it's made with pignon nuts and coffee, and it's ridiculous. But then I also do the buttered coffee, so it's got the Kelly Gold grass-fed butter, little MCT oil. I'm so LA, and then heavy cream, and then I blend that up because it's a slow burner energy. It's a slow timed release energy because the fat gives your brain food, and then it kind of encases the caffeine, and it allows it to last a little longer. So I'll drink this and then go on a run without like food. But yeah, so that's what I drink that every morning, and so you're lucky to witness it.
Yeah, first of all, I feel lucky. And secondly, it does genuinely sound delicious. I love that.
It's really good
coffee. People look at me when I'm nuts when I do that.
It's so good.
Being an East Coaster, people are like, "What are you doing?"
So
I like
good.
to- I
We drink our
enjoy
coffee black with sadness.
coconut oil mixed into mine.
Yeah, coconut oil is delicious, especially if
Yeah.
you blend it, because then it gets all frothy.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to emulsify things.
Note for our lovely fans, these sample patch sachets from Tea and Absinthe. First of all, 100% certified biodegradable, so that's great, but not resealable. So have something to put it in. Don't be like me and try to just balance it on its edge. Yes, be like Rosie. As always, be more like Rosie. My mug today is this beautiful mug from Arcane Spectacles, our wonderful friends out in somewhere.
Seattle. They're out in Washington.
Seattle.
Yeah, it's yeah, you got to get there, but it's good once you find it.
Seattle. Yeah.
Listen, I don't know who gave me permission to do this, but they were wrong. That's what I have to say about hosting this.
That's fair.
Man, so Todd, you're very Los Angeles. You're very LA.
I'm very Chicago, but I live in LA.
I was about to say Hoffman Estates isn't. That's
where I went to high school. I'm from Hanover Park, Illinois. Represent.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a Chicago boy, in and out of the downtown, the city. I sort of grew up in the city till I was like 7, so massive formative years. Then moved out to the burbs, and then after college moved back to the city. I'm old, so like I was in the city for the better part of 5+ years as a grown-up person, and then I moved to New York for 5 years, and then I've been in LA for going on 21 years.
Nice. I know you have to be in LA for work, right? Like
that's where I work.
Yeah, that's where you work, doing your whatever it is you do.
Doing my funny bits and skits.
Yeah, you're like you dress up like as Elmo.
As many things. Yeah, I'm a Times Square Elmo. Yeah.
But in LA, which is why it's very unique
just
there.
Caked in urine and Snickers wrappers.
I was so we're all in the nerd space together. We know who Marisha Ray from Critical Role is.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching her interview with Philip Franco, much better at doing this than I am, Philip. But she was talking about her time as a Hollywood Boulevard street performer.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, that's
man, hardcore.
I spent a lot of time in the mean streets of New York City, and I still don't want to do that.
I got to do. I was on a television program with with comedian and political activist, actor extraordinaire Eddie Izzard, and Eddie and I were just discussing because I had gone to the Fringe Festival in Scotland with Second City back in '95. Yeah. And I asked Eddie, I'm like, oh, did you ever do the Fringe Festival? He's like, Yeah, 12 years in a row. I'm like, oh, so yes. But he did it he's a street performer. So he cut his bones, and he told me an amazing story of sort of how he came to do the kind of stand-up that he does, which he said, he used to be a duo performer, and then one year his partner could not make it that year, and so he ended up playing both parts in the scene, and then and then he goes, and then at the end of the day, I would look at the take, from the hat that we would put out, and realize I didn't have to split it. And so if you watch Eddie's work, he's having conversations with himself. So like he'll play one part and then he'll turn and play the response. So he often does scenes with himself. And that's but it all started from busking and street performing. That's where you earn your bones. He calls that comedy school. He's like, Todd, we went to comedy school. Like when you were like, you're hard, like you're just dragged. Because I could not tell you, I toured for 2.5 years with Second City, just crammed in a van with some people who are now like luminaries in American comedy, Adam McKay and Amy Poehler and all those cats. But like in the early 90s, I was just like a gypsy in a van, like a bard traveling about the land, and we would drive to college campuses in Colorado, in Georgia, and we would just trot out our little box, like I would have my wigs and funny glasses in a case, and we would perform. But I would do that so you earned your 10,000 hours on the road way back in the day.
Did you do you have any overlap with who else was 90s Second City?
Colbert, Carell, Tim
Yeah.
Fey. Yeah, I hope things work out for those guys.
It's real rough. It's real rough. There's a small part of me that worries about Colbert, like in the last year without having an audience. Like he seems, man, Steven.
He's still doing amazing work.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about like financially. I'm just like,
no, he's doing amazing work. Like he still rose to the challenge. It's one of my first when you're joining the union, there's a thing that you get called Taft-Hartley, which is like, here's your first union job, and then you don't have to pay the dues to join the union. This is the one that gets waived, that gets you ready to join the union. I think it was AFTRA. But one of my first gigs was doing a Nike in-house industrial to teach the salespeople how to sell the shoes, and it was Colbert and me, like as shoe salesmen, trying to explain this like patented cushioning material called hexalite, and we just kept going off script. And like, hexalite is a substance that fell to earth. Like it just yeah. What does it do, Steven? I have no idea, Todd. Yeah.
So I know Colbert talks a lot about the fact that he was never a stand-up, right? He was an improv.
Second City. Yeah. We did improv, yeah.
Did you ever wander into the world of stand-up? Did Eddie
before Second City? Before Second City, actually, I when I was 19 years old, I was working at Woodfield Mall, which oddly has a comedy club in it now too, but at the time it didn't. But I was waiting tables in Woodfield Mall. I was in between schools. I was transitioning from Loyola University to Illinois State University, and I had like a gap semester where I stayed home and got some GEs out of the way, community college. But I did like local plays. I did Biloxi Blues, and then I also like my buddy Jeff Rogers, who is a successful funny man out of Chicago, Second City guy as well. He's like, hey man, there's this competition. They're doing a stand-up competition at this place called the 94th Aero Squadron, sort of a World War II themed restaurant. And I was like, oh, that sounds awesome. And so I was like a kid, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll write up an act. And so I did do stand-up, and then that first week I won the competition, which pushed me into the second round. And in the second round, I sort of felt like I choked, And like when you're on stage and you choke and you're alone with a mic, it feels like a good year and a half goes by.
Mhm.
But to the audience, it could just be like a half a second, like a lifetime and a half a second, but that cold sweat. So I came in second place in that second one, and a stand-up named Rocky Laporte came in first place. And Rocky is still, he's headlining now. He's still in the game. But it was enough that made me go, you know what, I love doing comedy, and I love the spirit of live performed comedy, but I would rather do it with a group. And my heroes were always Bill Murray and Aykroyd and those cats. And so my trajectory pointed me towards improv in Second City and away from stand-up comedy.
Makes sense. That's yeah. I've done stand-up a handful of times. Nope. I don't know that I've ever.
Yeah, it's not for
sissies.
It's not for sissies. Like I couldn't take it. Rosie, did you ever do stand up?
No, I'm not that funny, so that's okay. Like I'm funny in my
You're
own
actually
world.
hilarious.
I'm funny in
Glad
my
you
own
said
world,
that.
but like it's okay.
That's fine. You don't need to be professionally funny.
No.
money.
I'll do other things. Like I'll get paid to do other things,
Good.
like DM, or that's mostly what I get paid to do. So that's good.
To do what?
I mean,
To DM.
Oh, very good.
That's what I like.
That's a good thing.
Of the three of us, Rosie's probably the smart one. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm not smart.
She's got a master's. Neither do I. I have a degree
I'm just
in
lucky.
theater.
Yeah.
I went to a very expensive school and got a very dumb degree and lots of debt. I'm very not smart.
I have lots of debt and a dumb degree as well, but
You
it's
have
cool.
a master's.
You know,
in
it's weird.
leadership.
We talk about like people are like, do you need a degree in theater? And I'm like, no, what you need is 4 years to make mistakes in theater where a paycheck isn't on the line, and you're refining your vocal skills and your movement skills and your text analysis skills, and you're understanding where theater came from. The degree is irrelevant. The space to mess up without consequence is invaluable.
Yeah, anytime people tell me like, oh, like at this point in my life, friends, kids who are like, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to get a theater degree. And I'm like, no, do not do that.
I disagree.
They will let you into the place. They'll let you into the place. Go to college, do theater, get a minor or something, get a business degree.
I
It
disagree.
won't take any time. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I disagree.
Let's go, Todd.
I disagree. I disagree. Seal off the exits, man.
Seal off the exits.
Seal off the exits.
Give yourself no
so
other
like
option.
don't give yourself any other options. And so like if I got to sink or swim, I'm gonna swim. So meaning as a theater major, I had access to more classes and teachers and opportunities to deepen my skill set, because talent is irrelevant. Talent you're born with, skill is what you need, and skill being that which you can repeat. Like, can you do this on command, right? And so I needed skills. I was like, for whatever reason, high school theater, Fiddler on the Roof, let me know that I had talent. Like people were clapping as I spoke. So I'm okay. I'm in the right direction. You know, positive strokes along the way. There was enough yeses at a younger age to say, okay, let's point the boat down that river. But college as a theater major, if I feel, I'm not right, I'm just right for me. I feel if I reserved part of my brain to go, oh, I could always, then I might have.
I mean, fair. I mean, you're not wrong. I don't know. Maybe that's the difference between LA theater and New York theater.
I was a Chicago boy.
Yeah, I know you were Chicago, but
no. So like when I think of theater in my life, it's not LA theater.
Chicago. Yeah, you think of
Chicago and New York. I was a New York theater guy.
Yeah.
I had a theater company in New York, and I had a theater company in Chicago. I did Second City in Chicago, and then in New York, I was in an improv group called Burn Manhattan.
Nice, very nice. Yeah. You're not wrong about not having the sink or swim. My general advice is have a second set of skills, because that's what's going to get you in the door with the producers. Like every role I ever got was, and mind you, acting was never my focus. I was a stage manager, and then I got into theater management, things like that. But every opportunity I ever got was because, I mean, my first paying theater gig was because I had a truck. Like, I'm the only guy. Good. Yeah.
Well, I do have a driver's license.
Yeah, I had a driver's license. I was willing to drive my truck in New York City.
But that didn't require college.
Correct. I learned a lot working on productions in college.
Sure.
I learned a lot in my classes about the history of theater and the academics of the art form. Yeah. I would have had a lot better time doing theater, and I might still be doing it if I had a job that could support me 9 to 5.
Yeah, it's funny because I just kept things personally. I burned really lean and clean early on. Like, so when I was in Chicago, I had a studio, and it was maybe, well, at the time, early 90s, it was maybe like $350, $450 a month rent in Chicago in 1990. So I was working at the Hamburger Hamlet. I was waiting tables and hosting at Second City. I was taking classes at Improv Olympic and taking classes at Second City, performing at Improv Olympic, and then I had my own theater company. And because I was 23, I had the energy of the sun.
I don't think I had the energy of the sun when I was 23.
I don't want to talk about where I was in 1990.
You were a baby.
Yeah, I was most of 1990 I spent as a 2-year-old.
That's what I'm saying. So like I was born in 1968. So if that gives you any indication.
I really didn't know. Like I would have never guessed. You look great. You look amazing.
Should somebody born in 1968 possibly not look great? I don't know. It's also relative that I was born in the 60s. I grew up in the 70s. I came of age in the 80s, and then I graduated college in 1990. So I was 22 years old in 1990. Yeah. And so
that
I was
your halfway point. From there to here, that was halfway, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm 52 now, so that was 30 years ago.
I'm bad at math.
That's
hey,
fair. You were
fun trivia. Before I was a theater major, I was an applied mathematics major.
Mm-hmm. It shows.
Good job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you could not ask for a better hobby that is theater and math, which is Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh yeah, I played a little Dungeons and Dragons. All right, I have one more acting related. I mean, I'm sure we'll get back to it. But what is the earliest headshot that you still have a copy of?
I actually have one from a photographer in Chicago. My hair was like down to here. Yes. I looked like I was the lead singer of Creed. Like I was like, I'm that guy. I'm like early 90s guy, like black t-shirt standing like this with my hair here. And so that I have a copy of it. And you know what? I'm not even sure I ever used it as a headshot. No, I take that back. There was a photographer in Chicago named Jennifer Gerard. So right out of college, I have some pictures of that Jennifer Gerard took with my swoopy early 90s hair. Yeah. Looking like a boy band.
Send us a copy of that first, not like a physical one.
Absolutely. Because do you want me to sign it for you, Sean? No, I mean I'll take a digital copy and I'll send it to you. Of course, it's just so heartwarming because it's like I'm such a baby actor in it, and like it always makes me laugh to look at it.
We're gonna put that everywhere. You know, like we're gonna use that.
So then, no, I'm not sending it, and we're good.
We're gonna use it in the
privileges revoked.
Yeah, all right,
Rosie, where did you start at? Like what? Like college, what did you study?
Yeah, I have a bachelor's degree in English focused in creative writing. I started as an elementary education major, and then I realized that I don't like kids that young. Like I want them to talk and like be competent. And kids that age can't do that. So I switched to English.
They eat crayons.
They do, and like glue. So I didn't want that. So I switched to English thinking I would be like a high school teacher or something at some point. And then that didn't interest me either. That was right at the time where we were invoking No Child Left Behind, and like everything started really focusing on testing, and that wasn't my dream. And then I went to school. I have a master's degree in leadership development. So focused in on higher education. So I was going to work with college kids. And I did for a little while, and then I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it. It's very cliquey. And then I created my own organization. So I work with teenagers and we do social skill development using Dungeons and Dragons.
I love that. It's
so
amazing.
I got to combine two things that I really liked, which was creative writing and English and all that good stuff. And then my leadership development.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Everybody
So-
lands in their own slot. Their
Yeah.
super slot. Pardon me?
I can't believe she wastes her time with us.
I love
She's not gonna make a
It's
difference.
look, it's all. You know, what's the Alan Watts quote about life is essentially the meaning of life is play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like after we've met our Maslow's hierarchy of needs of eating and sleeping and sheltering, the whole point of why we're here is to play.
Yep.
Because otherwise he goes, it's not a journey, it's a dance, right? You don't play music to finish it. You play music to be in it and doing it and to celebrate it. And so it's why we play D&D, because as I believe what Lillard says, he goes, it's the best way to spend a life. Like sitting around a table with friends, sharing a drink and a story. Come on.
Yeah.
And killing kobolds.
You're not wrong. I do hate kobolds. No, actually, I love kobolds. I'm one of those like, no. I'm going to play a goblin that hates all humans. Like, let's all be honest. Humans suck. All the worst people I know are humans.
And all the best people I know are humans.
Are they?
I'm a dragon in
Yeah.
disguise. I'm not going to lie to
See?
you.
First of all, like, she's a dragon. You're an actor.
Same.
No
we both
human
breathe. We both breathe fire.
Exactly.
No,
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's been a fun journey. It's been interesting to like in this world, like seeing how divided like therapists are from. So I'm not a therapist. I do social skills, and then people use it for therapy. But it's been fun. Like I've had a great time with all of D&D and teaching kids and like watching them come out of their shells. It's been great to just like play D&D.
My daughter is the age I was. Oddly, when I was quitting D&D, I started playing in 79. Yeah, so I started playing in 79, and then I was a victim of the satanic panic in the early 80s, and I like ran from the game, gave away all my books, and like the devil's gonna find me.
Oh.
And he found me.
I was gonna say, and now you're an actor, one of his shows.
I'm one of his minions. Yes, I wear the symbol. And I found my way back to the game, and it was a homecoming. It was I came back to the game. Well, Abraham Ben Ruby was talking about it at an audition. I was like at some audition, and he was like, "Oh yeah, me and Lillard and a bunch of people." And I'm like, "People still play D&D?" Like it was so off my radar about 10, 15 years ago. I just was like, nobody was really talking. People were playing it, but they weren't talking about it the way it's now a social splash again. And it just made me like, it sort of awoke an old itch. I was like, oh wait, what? Oh yeah. I mean, I left it when I was a naive child who was scared of make believe, and now I came back. I was like, so I went on eBay and I bought all my original player's handbook. Oh, not mine. Well, maybe it was. Wouldn't that have been awesome if somehow eBay like circled back and I actually got my book back? But I got the player's handbook back, and the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Fiend Folio and deities and demigods, just to smell the paper and to hold them. But I didn't have a group of people to play with, and so that took a number of years to come back around. And then when 5e came out, I announced on Facebook that I wanted to play, and my buddy Yuri was like, he literally showed up at my house with the starter kit. He's like, "We're going to play because I want to play too." And he gives me the starter kit, and this was probably around 2015. That's like when 5e came out, 14, 15.
Yeah.
And I was like, awesome, let's get a group together. And then I left town to do 12 Monkeys in Toronto. So like, all right, put that on pause. And then the guy that was training me for 12 Monkeys owned a nerd themed gym here, David Nett, great DM, and a great trainer. He was training me for 12 Monkeys, and I'm like, you have to form a group that I can play D&D in when 12 Monkeys is over, because I got to play again. And we've been playing that same game now for going on 4 years.
That's
And then my daughter,
4 years,
who at 11 was my daughter, who was 11 at the time. She's like, Dad, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons. She goes, yes, please. So I started DMing again because out of necessity, because my daughter wanted to play.
That's brilliant. I love seeing families come together and play D&D. I wish only that I could convince my parents to do so.
I think I'm going to DM for my mom. I think I'm going to DM for my mom in mid-May. I'm going back to Chicago for her birthday. I'm fully vaxxed and I'm on airplanes.
Yes.
So I'm going to go. I think I'm going to DM for my 79-year-old mother.
I'm now fully vaxxed and fully marinated. I've done my 2 weeks.
Yesterday
Rosie
was my marination.
Yeah, Rosie is right now. You got your second shot yesterday.
Friday. I'm creating the antibodies as we speak.
Yeah.
My body is very tired.
Welcome to the party, pal.
I know, it's going to be worth it because I can get on a plane in 2 weeks and hug my vaccinated friends and family members who I haven't seen in so long. I'm so excited.
I got to actually go to my friend's nerdy gym yesterday, and then afterward we went and got breakfast burritos.
Ooh, that sounds all right.
Sounds
well,
great.
now I like. If I come out to LA, can we do morning gym and breakfast burritos? Because that's genuine.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
So my friends David Nett and Christy Blacknett, they own a gym in LA called Heroes Journey LA, Heroes Journey Fitness, and they do nerd themed workouts like the walk into Mordor, and it's like, and you have to at one point you have to carry a heavy bag as if it's Samwise carrying Frodo, like, and they'll play the Howard Shore soundtrack while we're working out. It's like, it's the best way.
I'm gonna be okay. Best. Well,
yesterday was a Steve Rogers workout, so it was all like upper body, and it was the Steve Rogers worthy workout. So we had to keep try to catch Mjolnir. It was awesome, but it was done with maces and kettlebells. I
literally got a house here this morning. I was saying during the pre-interview. Thank you. But no, obviously, I now have to figure out a way out of this and move to Los Angeles and then go to this gym and be the.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything on air here, Sean, but we had talked about maybe moving, but I think LA is where it's going to be. So not more affordable than Colorado, though.
And the breakfast, but the earning potential is higher. Like you can, the cost of living is up, but there's also it's commensurate. Yeah. I mean, look. I moved here as a unemployed actor with a wife and child, and somehow managed to keep it burn clean. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment for a very long time with my son until things started, until the writing and acting started taking off. But there are people that aren't actors that live in LA. So
yeah. I lived in San Diego for a while. Your traffic sucks.
That's a beautiful place to live, though.
That's where I got my master's degree. It was fun.
Oh, what a lovely place to be.
I was born in Pasadena.
Oh, very good.
Lovely. But
the burrito place is in walking distance from the gym. Yeah.
This is me letting you know we're getting towards the end. I heard something about a nerd circus, and I was curious to hear more about this nerd circus while we're recording stuff.
I was gonna say. So Todd, you were talking about you were pre-satanic. I love that so much.
Ooh, that just
that logo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you draw the logo? Did your son draw the logo?
No, I had the idea for the logo. it's a very weird, it's a long journey when you're putting together like a business, as you guys know. And I just had the idea of like just my stupid smirking mustached face, because these are my glasses, and this is the hat that I wear when I DM, and then it sort of looked like a ringmaster's hat, and then I've always called this the Nerd Lair, and so originally the business was going to be called the Nerd Lair, but that was taken. There was somebody already YouTubing from the Nerd Lair, and I'm like, well, they're selling T-shirts, so you don't want to get like merch confliction. But oddly, Nerd Circus was available. Like it was like a motorcycle club somewhere, and it was an actual act, but nobody was like trucking in like the actual nerd space. And so, what you were saying, Sean, about I was pre-Satanic Panic, so I was late 70s D&D, and so we would always play D&D in wood-paneled basements with orange shag carpeting.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
Rosie,
pretty.
is this your first time seeing this dice box?
Yes.
It's brilliant. It is beautiful.
Oh my gosh, it makes me so happy.
Right? And so I wanted to give that a little mini version of what it was like to D&D in my space. So then I created like lava lamp dice, because we always have a lava lamp in those basements.
Yeah,
and then,
you should.
And then we'd always keep our pencils and stuff in a cigar box back in the day, because you didn't have schmancy people making schmancy things. So we wanted, like, you keep your pencils and your dice and your stuff in here.
A tiny bit higher area, yeah. I was gonna say
it's a little cigar box that seals off. So I wanted to. This was all during the pandemic. In the heart of it, I was basically writing in my office and going, oh, I want to make stuff because it's fun, and like I want to make stuff to make it feel like I'd felt for me back in the day in the late 70s, early 80s to game. And so, like, I made Mai Tai glasses and T-shirts. I wanted to create sort of a 12 Monkeys as if it was an animated series in the early 80s. So I made a Time Monkey shirt and always adding stuff to it. But so the Nerd Circus kind of grew out of putting something out there that I would want to own that sort of celebrates my version. Like I came up listening to Styx and Kansas and all those proggy rocky bands while I was playing D&D. So I just wanted that vibe to do it in.
That's the that's the vibe that D&D had for me as a child. So coming up like in the 90s, like D&D was that thing that people did before. Like it was before the big resurgence. And it was always that orange shag carpet, like the 70s vibe that you have and that the Nerd Circus has is so weirdly nostalgic for me because I didn't live it, but like it is inexorably tied to D&D.
It is.
Yep.
It is. And for the new generation that's playing, this is one that I'm trying to figure out how to actually make, which is a big Stein with the Nerd Circus logo on the back. This is a prototype.
Out of that. I'm just saying.
So and then I think I'm going to do coffee mugs and then different stuff. But
if a company wanted to drink tea out of your coffee mugs, could we do that?
I think you could.
Okay, just checking. I don't want to upset you with a coffee mug.
I'm not upset. I do actually enjoy tea now and again, and Geeky Teas, which is my local game shop, has all the nerdiest themed teas you can find, and it's the best. I'm actually taking my daughter there today because she's going to DM her game.
Nice. This isn't her first, right? Like this is like she's got a running game.
She ran her first like 6-hour game. I'm like, okay, you are now officially a DM because you're trucking to the break of dawn. We did a little backyard social distance game with her friends, and she ran a one-shot that I did for Dungeon Run. And she was like, and now she's writing her own. And there's werewolves. So I'm excited. Yes. She's setting it in Barovia.
Of course.
Man, if only we knew anybody like that worked in, adventure publication, Rosie. If only. Maybe we could help her. Anyway. We'll talk about that after. Speaking of beverageware, though, yes. One of the pieces that I love from the Nerd Circus is your tiki glasses.
So my son,
Yes.
I wanted it to look like those old Burger King glasses that you would get, but for grown-ups, because I love Mai Tais, so I wanted to make a Mai Tai glass. And so the guy that that was sort of my Sherpa into doing e-commerce is a man by the name of Trader Brandon. And Trader Brandon Cleely, he was a former Imagineer, and he helped design Trader Sam's, and he used to be a skipper on the Jungle Cruise. So he designed Trader Sam's, the tiki bar at the Disney's, and he had a site, and he's like, you should do some Mai Tai glasses. And so I had my son, who's an animator, design this kind of cartoon Mai Tai glass, and it's got Moloch there from the Player's Handbook, and actually these are all things that are in the Nerd Lair, even my dogs and my Atari 2600 on the CRT TV, and it's got my little phrases: "May you always roll with advantage," "Welcome to the Nerd Circus." But yeah, it was just so cool to make the little Burger King glass
I love
to have for the collection. I think I'm going to do another run of this, but in 2 different tones, maybe do a blue, purple, green version.
Yeah.
But the same art, but so that you
Yeah.
create a little different a different cartoon set.
Ooh.
My son also, we also have a t-shirt with that logo on it. Sort of, we flattened it out and made a little parade, the little nerd parade.
You mentioned Trader Brandon, and you showed us these beautiful glasses. Audience members will know that I don't drink alcohol. I drink other beverages, but I don't that has left me without the ability to host and make cocktails. Todd Stashwick, is there some way, some guide to tiki cocktails that you would recommend?
Yes, there is. So Trader Brandon and I, a few months back, we kickstarted a thing called Mystic Libations, critical cocktails for the thirsty adventurer, and it is over 100 plus, maybe close to 130 tiki themed recipes. But Sean, we didn't forget about you, for there's an entire chapter of mocktails in the book of alcohol-free, and they're not just like Shirley Temples. They're no, they're legit tasty concoctions. So that with the RPG theme, fantasy theme. So we basically created a tavern called the Bloodthorn. We created a tavern called the Bloodthorn. We created characters that are hosting the tavern, and then we created adventures that they went on to collect all the recipes, and then at the end is a playable one-shot. And my buddy David Nett created a bardic subclass called the Arcane Mixter, and it is a mixology bardic subclass, playable.
Next charity game we do together, I will play that subclass.
Oh, it's fun. Yeah. So the book is actually already off to the printer. It's gorgeous. I think I can hold up a little preview if you want to see.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like that.
So where is it? There it is. Come on, there it is. So it's over 200-page book, and it's beautiful. We really pulled out all the stops. Artist Julia Madalena, Zelda Devon did the cover. We had a mixologist for Disney named Roy, who created Roy Hansel, who created the Roy Hansel. I'm going to get the name wrong. I'm butchering his name. But he created a lot of the recipes with us. We also let the Kickstarter people name the recipes. So some of them are named after their characters. So you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck, and we'll be selling it on the on my website and Brandon's website, and also making them available in game stores that are interested in selling them. They can order some from us as well. So it's been, and again, that's all done during COVID. It was a labor of love. It's the things that we could do with the internet, like how Zoom transformed D&D. I think Zoom is what suddenly put D&D over the top, because suddenly more people were able to play with people that didn't have groups in their area, I was like hosting games in Chicago, in New York, in Florida.
Had this like prevalence
Crisis.
of Zoom D&D, well, not the crisis, but the prevalence of Zoom D&D happened earlier. Maybe you would have been able to stay in that first game when you had to go to Toronto for 12 Monkeys.
Exactly.
It's true.
He has headphones on, so he can still hear us just fine.
I can hear you. I just realized that I didn't have the thing on, and my Mac was about to run out of juice.
Ooh, smart.
So yes, I probably would have, but everything happens for a reason. By the time when Yuri and I were like, "Hey, let's play," we didn't have a DM, and so it took a year or two before I met David Nett, who became my Sherpa into the lands, and he became my de facto DM, and he taught me everything I know basically by playing with him and Satine and the people that I've been able to play with and learn from. And then by necessity having to do it for my daughter. But the Zoom allowed me to do more games, because when I host games in my house, it's a party you're throwing, and it's a lot more pre-energy and then post energy, which is the cleanup and
cleaning and yep.
Yeah, so and we're gonna be able to get back to live games, because there ain't nothing like it with the minis and the maps and the Dwarven Forge of it all. I'm gonna actually start my own ongoing campaign that I will create with my own group as a DM in June. So I'm excited about that.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
I've been just doing one shots.
I know
for Jasper's game.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to talk about.
See, I'm good at this.
So one of
I segged right into it for you. I served it up.
So the reason we know each other at all, you and I, and you and Rosie, is that you very generously give of your time and effort and creativity to charity events. And I mean, just yesterday, from when we were recording, you ran a game, and I believe that there were seats for your game that were auctioned off, right?
You could auction, yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like following you on Twitter, like every 6 weeks you're doing one of these things, and that can't.
Well, Jasper's game,
yeah, Jasper's game day, which we had Fenway on,
which I'm getting ready to go and produce stuff for after our interview.
Yeah, is an amazing organization. You've also done, I know because I was helping produce that for Take This. And I believe, if I remember correctly,
charity water for D&D Beyond. Yeah,
charity water.
So Fenway, I was originally going to host an actual table at Geeky Teas, and then COVID hit, and so that just turned into Zoom charity games. And I think the ability of doing the Zoom allowed people from all over the country to play with the fact that somebody could bid and sit at my table would not have been possible if I was just hosting a live game so somebody from Colorado could play in this game. And so there was a great democratization of the process. We ended up raising close to $2,500 just for our 3-hour stream alone. And one of the things that I made available is I auctioned off $1,000 private game that I would host for Zoom, and that sold in the first 15 minutes of the game. And so I'm so thrilled. The cause means so much to me personally, and oddly, we were talking, it's not to get macabre, but the man who introduced D&D to me was my cool older cousin Tori, who I named my character, my female bard, after in the Mystic Libations as a tribute to him. Tori, when I was 8 or 9 years old, he was playing D&D, and I thought he was the coolest person. So he was the first to show me my first 20-sided die, show me the player's handbook. He took his life, and so Dungeons and Dragons and this cause are intertwined in my brain. And so when when they sent up the Horn of Gondor, I immediately was like, yeah, of course. You have my sword.
As a survivor myself, the work they do is absolutely amazing, and one of the reasons they're able to do as much as they are is through the generosity of people like yourself, people like no one else, just you.
You're literally asking me to play D&D for 3 hours, which,
I know, right?
So it's I don't feel like I'm being generous. I feel like I'm getting away with something. So so like if I can throw whatever people are fans of a lot of the shows that I've been on, and if this piques their interest to go sniff out this charity, I will lend my stupid face to pull their eyeballs and pocketbook that way.
That's awesome.
And we appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do it. And like I said, I'm always there for her if I'm available.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For
Rosie's like, wrap it up.
No, I mean, like, I'm excited. Like, I get to, I didn't get to be part of like the players or the DMs, but I got asked to be part of the production team this year. So I'm going in, like, doing second producing and like being there for the production team because, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I was fortunate this year because I not only get to DM, but next weekend I get to be a player at David Blue's table. So with Anthony Rapp and Critical Bard and Christina Ochoa. So that's going to be it'll be fun to sit on that. I don't have to do any prep.
Yep.
Actually, I do. I have to level up my character. I'm going to actually play a character that was a PC in one of my first Jasper's games, or it was an NPC. I've slowly turned her into a PC, and it's a little ratkin rogue named Bresh No Tooth, and she's going to come out with her little stabby daggers. She's like Miss Brisby, but real stabby.
But real stabby. Love it.
Real stabby Miss Brisby.
Yeah. Very cool. Very
all right,
cool.
Sean.
And so, yeah, that's all I got. Cheers.
All right.
It's time to tell Todd about our rating system and see where he rates his coffee today, and we rate our teas.
All right, Todd. This is the part of the show where I talk a little bit. I know I don't talk much, but so Todd, we have a rating system for our teas. We have a spreadsheet. Our wonderful fans can access it. Link in the chat right now, or in the doobly-doo if you're watching this on YouTube later. But we rate things from 0 stars to 5 stars. Clean it. 0 stars would be something that is bad, something we would recommend against. We do not think people should consume this. 1 is this is fine. This is fine. I wouldn't order this, but I'd drink it to be polite. 2, I would drink this, but I probably wouldn't buy it. A 3, which I like to call our stocking stuffers, is a would buy, not preferred. These are the ones where if I'm getting a bundle from someone and it's mostly 4s and 5s and some 3s are in there, it's not at all a detriment to the bundle. A 4 is a great, I'll order this again. And a 5 is an awesome, must keep on hand. If I find myself running low, I'm ordering more before I run out.
I get it.
Great. Okay.
Could you start over?
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Sip Happens. I'm your...
I know a lot about time loops.
Yeah? Oh, yeah. Were you in, like, Looper or...
Yep, I was in Looper.
Yeah. Or that...
I was Bruce Willis's gun.
The prosthetics.
You did really great in that. You did really
Thank
great
you.
in that.
Watch. I'll do you my favorite monologue. Pachoo, pachoo.
Why did I try to take a drink?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
All right.
I was very fresh in my palate, so I could talk about my tea, but this is more interesting. So.
Okay, so Rosie, what do you think of this tea that I've forgotten the name of? Queen of Hearts. Yes,
well,
thank you.
Our viewers by now will know that fruity teas aren't always my very favorite type of teas.
So you're going to say they're not your cup of tea?
I am. I'm gonna say they're not my cup of tea. It's a good thing. We should have Todd on every episode, just having jokes going in the background.
I'll just be Andy Richter. I'll just be Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been looking for like a sidekick for this hosting gig. We have producer Rosie. You're a co-host, first of all. You're like
it's two-handers.
There
It's
are no
Regis and Kathy.
Yeah, but we don't have like a Paul Schaefer, right?
That's
we don't have a.
Right. I'll just stand over here and crack my eyes. Groovy, man.
Tell us
Keep
what
going.
you think about the tea, Rosie.
Anyways, I think this is pretty good. I will not lie, I ordered my tea and absinthe long before Sean did, so I may or may not have not had the patience to wait for them. So I've had a few. I would say this is one of, I'm going to say lesser favorites, but I'm going to throw out there that they've all been really, really good. So being a lesser favorite's not bad. I'm giving this one a 3. I enjoy it. I drank almost the entire cup, but it's fruity, and fruity isn't always. I like a nice black tea. So, but it's good. It's refreshing. Not feeling that great because my body is fighting COVID and making its antibodies. Like this was
not fighting COVID.
It's creating antibodies.
Don't confuse the people. You don't get COVID from the vaccine.
But I'm creating antibodies. I'm creating antibodies right now. And I had a fever all day yesterday, and I can feel it coming back a little bit. So my body's doing its hard work. This was really good. I didn't want a black tea because I didn't want to be like creating all of that caffeine in my body that I don't want right now. So this was delicious. I will happily drink this again.
Sean?
Yes, hi.
What is your rating?
Well, normally we go to the guest between the two of us.
Yeah, but I'm not drinking the tea, so it feels like it should dovetail against hers.
Look, you brought Todd on as our
attaché.
I love this.
I'm your side piece.
I'm fine with this. Yeah. I'm sure my wife was too. That's fine.
Okay. You love this.
I need to focus. Queen of Hearts. I really enjoy this. I'm not the biggest longtime fans will know hibiscus fan, but the hibiscus in here is really subtle. I mean, it's forward, right? It's a strong flavor. You're gonna taste it. But it's really well balanced with all the rest of the fruit that's going on. Mm-hmm. We are filming this at a time when summer is coming. Well, for Todd and I, it's still snowing for you, Rosie. And this is like
a month ago here.
Yeah, no. This is like the perfect sit outside.
Punch me in the hot parts.
The other thing is that I love raisins, so I'm going to just try to eat one of the raisins and see how that goes. But
we're having a thunderstorm right now.
I'm going to give this a solid. I'm going to give this a 4.
Okay.
By the way, I'm going to give this a solid 4.
Love it.
And then let's see how this goes.
He's eating the raisin. He's chewing the raisin. The raisin is
being masticated as we speak.
It has a lot of flavor.
Oh, the raisin?
It has a lot of flavor.
Does it taste like a raisin?
It doesn't just taste like a raisin. It tastes like
there's more.
All of the things that are in this bag.
It's like a Shyamalan twist.
Don't eat the raisin. I mean, like, it's delicious, but that's a lot.
Is that like tequila?
Yeah, it's a little.
Don't eat the raisin. Don't eat the raisin.
Noted.
Todd, tell us what your tea, or tell us what your
coffee. I'm not drinking tea.
I know.
I don't tend to reach for tea unless it's chai during the holidays, because chai always feels. Although the word chai means tea, so it's like saying I like tea. But I look, my coffee is an 11 out of 5. So because I drink it every day of my life, which is the Santa Fe Pignon coffee with grass-fed butter, MCT oil, which is the brain fuel that I get from Whole Foods, and they're not paying me to say that, and a teaspoon or a tablespoon of heavy cream, and so I get. Oh, it just smells good. Oh, so yeah, it's an 11. I just broke your spreadsheet. You're welcome.
Um,
Nothing I like more than talking about spreadsheets.
Dude, I genuinely love spreadsheets.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not even a lie. Sean and spreadsheets. Yikes.
I am Asian.
I'm sorry, I
What
nodded
can
off
say?
during that last sentence you were saying.
All right, so I'm going to come to Los Angeles. You're going to make me a cup of this coffee, and then
Oh,
we're
yeah.
going to go work out, and then we're going to have
And
breakfast.
talk about
today.
And we can walk to the burrito place from the workout place.
That's good. That's excellent
I'm
because
saying. It's a
I'm
good
down.
thing, Sean.
I'm ready.
It's a good thing, Rosie. That's all I'm
Love
saying.
it. I love
Two
it.
thumbs
And
up.
next time you're out here, you can see the house that I now regret getting.
In Hotlanta, congratulations on that, my friend.
Dude, I love it. It's this like cute little bungalow. It's on 1.3 acres. It is well, I'm outside Atlanta. Like, let's not. I'm not like,
Right.
like this isn't downtown.
I spent a year in Atlanta
Yeah.
doing
Were
the
you filming something?
originals. The originals, yeah.
Yeah.
Vampire Diaries spinoff. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
You were
little 5 points.
Dracula.
I was not on
No.
of the originals. I was a priest. I was Dracula on Supernatural.
Thank you. I was like, you played Dracula somewhere. You've been
I
a
did.
vampire. Are you a
I've
fan
been
of
a vampire
Vampire the
twice.
Masquerade? The game.
I did. I just did it with. I just did it for March to GaryCon. Jasmine Bular DM'd a game with myself and David Nett and B. Dave and Josephine McAdams. It was a fun game.
Someone's gonna teach me how to play someday. I won't.
It's
gonna
fun.
happen.
It's dice pooling. So there's it's very much like you. The onus is a little bit on you to go. Well, what skills would I combine to achieve this? And then so it's fun. So it's a little more than just like here's a straight skill check, or
Right.
you know what I mean. Although I tend to now, inspired by that, we'll go, that's an acrobatics plus an animal handling, and just like mix it up for people, just because I think it's an interesting way to go. So just add those together because you're good at both. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Todd, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
If the
Thanks
fine people watching want to go find you on the internet, where do you recommend they go?
At Todd Stashwick on the Twitter, and that's TODDSTASHWYCK, Hidden Candle, Stashwick. And I am, it's a slow burner. What a candle joke. And I am T Stashwick at Instagram. And then you can always check out my groovy wares and nerdy paraphernalia over at thenerdcircus.com. Where Mystic Libations will be for sale. Come like June or July-ish on my website. And you can also watch 911 Lone Star Monday, but this isn't going to air before then, so never mind. So you can watch me on 12 Monkeys on Hulu or Kim Possible live action on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Or
do what I do. Go rewatch all of Justified and watch
Justified. Watch The Riches. I played Shannon Woodward from The Riches. Was a co-star of mine. She played in my Jaspers game last night.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Go watch all of Todd's like single episode appearances. They're excellent.
You don't have that bad a time.
Go
watch me on Ghost Whisperer. You'll love that. Check my episodes of Still Standing.
Do it now.
I love you. Like, again, we've talked about your generosity. We talked about what a fan of like you as a person I am. I have never wanted to punch you more in the face than when you were a lawyer on Studio 60. It was amazing.
I wasn't a lawyer. I was a reporter.
That's right. I said the
Rolling Stone reporter. I was a lawyer on something. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I'm usually the one needing a lawyer on something.
Little known fact: Dracula on Supernatural, also a lawyer. They don't talk about it a lot.
Lawyer.
But
I did. He has a law degree. He was a paralegal by day. Yeah.
Sean, where can the internet find you?
Hey, so.
Oh God.
Hey, internet. We've talked a lot about where to find me, but I'm moving. I'm moving to a new home. Things are going to be different here. It doesn't mean that Rosie and I don't love you. It just means that things have to change. But you can always find me by going to www.seanbanerjee.com, which I just launched last night at 5 a.m. when I was on a coffee fueled work binge. And that'll have links to everything else. My TikTok, my LinkedIn. Actually, it probably doesn't
It's the other way around.
But yeah, my TikTok, my Instagram, my my business website, which isn't up yet, but probably will be by the time this airs. The Word Refinery. Yeah. So go click on those things and find out more about those things.
Hey, Rosie.
Yes.
Where can people find you?
Probably I'm gonna go take a nap after this, but
They'll find you in a fetal position.
Yeah, asleep. I mean, Twitter's really like my best spot where I hang out the most. So that's Rosie
And where is that?
Rosie _ games. If you're looking for, I talk a lot about my work, roleplaylead.org. So that's roll, but like roll the dice, not like I'm taking on a role.
Isn't it crazy how that word applies both to the same game?
It does. I know it is. That's. But this one is the dice rolling one. You can go there and see what work we do and that kind of fun stuff. How you can support us. There may or may not be a link to a module that I created for social skills DMing, so you can buy that.
I love that you call it a module.
Yeah. What else would you call it?
That lives in my little 1979 heart.
Oh yeah, it's a module. It's just like it's a little guy. It's not like a chunk of a campaign, just a little thing. So that's where go there today. Go there when you're done. Thanks.
Can you give me that name again?
Yeah, it's roll ROLL.
Yes.
Play lead.org.
Done. I'm there.
Yes. Cool. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Todd, for hanging out with us today.
Thanks for having me.
And as we like to say very awkwardly at the end of each episode, sip happens.
Sip happens.